Dance, Frank. Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. You will notice that I didn't have to change the camera at all because that is a new camera. Purchased myself a new camera last week. Feeling pretty good about it. It was a little pricey, and it's got a feature that I'm not gonna set up for today because this is the final show until we're taking 1 week off. Really, is all it is. Because it's got a feature where it will actually follow me. Where if I move this down here like this
into the bathroom,
it'll actually, follow my face. So, got no land here, obviously, hence the reason why he's stuck in his stank face, is what we call that. JL Sutton, hello! Who is JL Sutton? What is your name?
Texas
and Nightmare's
man.
there? What's up? How you doing? This is where people with their YouTube names, they need some help knowing exactly what it is we got going on here. But we got a big program lined up for you today. We're going to get to first impressions. That's essentially where I'm going to show Frank a picture. He tells me what his first impression is of that picture. And then we're going to get to inside first impressions. We're going to have Saved by the Bell. Guardians of the Galaxy, really the first movie, because the anniversary for that's got a 10-year anniversary is coming up for that. We're going to talk a little home run derby. It's been MLB All-Star Week. I've been a little on edge because I haven't had my fantasy baseball to play, so I'm a little riled up. We're going to talk Lunchables. We're going to talk some NCAA football game. No quiz today with Land not being here. However, we do 5 fast questions, of course. And then we're also going to need somebody to fill in for the third slot of our...
That's the butthole.
It's the third one? First, second, third.
Either that or the ear.
Figured the ear would be fourth and fifth, but all right. We're doing a Robin Williams movie draft, and so we always do 3 different sets. With Land not being here, we're going to need a third person. So anybody in the YouTube chat, if you would like to, you're more give us a little hello, and you can go ahead and pick. So essentially, the way that the Robin Williams movie draft goes, if you're not familiar with it or any of the movie drafts, is you're trying to build the best triple feature that you can. Normally what we do is we play 80s or 90s trivia with Frank and Lan, and then whoever wins gets to pick first. But since Lan isn't here, we're not going to have anybody to pick or have anybody to compete with Frank. So Frank will go first, and then the audience or whoever it is from the YouTube chat will go second, and then I will go third. And then we do it snake draft style where you come back around, and then you're basically picking your best triple feature that you can get in regards to Robin Williams movies.
Yes.
You got your list all lined up there, Frank?
Maybe.
I hope so.
No, yeah. I got
a lot of movies. We actually we did watch The Birdcage this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because my kids, she kept laughing, and I like we were asking her, "Do you like it?" And she's like, "I don't know. But when you're a 12-year-old kid, I'm assuming that means yes, because she's not flat out saying like, no, this is stupid. So I'll go with that.
Where she understands some of the comedy, but not all of it.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, she was obviously a big fan. Like Robin Williams is great, but Nathan Lane, like the one scene where he's trying to teach him how to be a man, and he's buttering the toast, and he like the toast goes flying. Yeah, that one got a lot of laughs.
Like when Hank Azaria slips in the kitchen.
Oh my God. Actually, yeah. Anytime that he was falling because of the shoes, my kid was in stitches. She absolutely loved Hank Azaria. It is my steamy Guatemalaness. He's great in that movie. All right, real quick reminder too, we do have member tiers here on the old YouTube channel. If you can spend a few bucks a month, it's greatly appreciated. We do have the cheaper tier, that's 99 cents a month. That is a channel supporter. And if you do become a channel supporter, you are going to get a sticker pack. You will get the Brandalorian sticker. You will get the History of Rock sticker. And you will also get the Cross-Eyed Bear sticker. And yes, I know I still need to get Anna her stuff and her friend.
Man, you're slacking.
The sticker pack as well. I didn't have a car for the longest time. But we'll get to that here in just a minute. And then the second tier of membership is the Memberlorian. That's $4.99 a month. You not only get the sticker pack, but I also have T-shirts with those designs on them, and you can pick whichever shirt that you want. Sizes are not guaranteed, but I do have all the different shirts with the different designs on them, so you're more than welcome to pick one of those if you would like. So I was without a car for about a couple of weeks. I had taken my kid to ballet. I was maybe a mile from my house, and then the car died, and I was right at a stop sign. But I tried it, and it turned right back on. The next day, same thing, almost in the exact same location. And I was turning left, and then the car died, and this time it would not turn back on. So essentially, the engine seized, but I drive a Hyundai Santa Fe, and there was an extended warranty on this model where Hyundai basically gave me a brand new engine.
All right.
That's not too shabby, right? So I'm pretty pleased with that. So it's kind of like getting a whole new car. But first things first, over on YouTube, if you go to the community page over on my YouTube channel, you can see all of the polls that I put up there. There's usually 4 different options. I post a question. There's images with it. And so we go over the past week's polls. And the first one had to do with last week's movie draft. And it was, what is Harrison Ford's best movie? So here were the 4 options: Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Fugitive, and Blade Runner. Which one do you think won, Frank?
Raiders.
You would be... Wait, where's my stuff here? Hold on.
There, did it for you.
That one. Raiders of the Lost Ark, actually, pretty handily, 61% of the vote, 21% to Empire Strikes Back, and then a tie for The Fugitive and Blade Runner. Sutton says they do that because they know their engine sucks and they don't bother to make better engines. Hey, I got 100,000 miles out of that first engine, so we're good to go. And I got to give credit. I got to give credit to Hyundai of El Paso because they were super cool, and I felt bad for them because I'm heading out on vacation on Saturday, and I wasn't expecting to get the car back until I returned. This past Saturday, they called me in the morning, and they were like, hey, your car's ready. I was like, holy crap. So I was going to go pick it up. We were going to go to my daughter's ballet performance, and then we were going to come home, get ready, because we had to go out there for a baby shower as well. So we were just going to head on out to the east side of town, and we were going to go pick up the car, and we were going to go to the baby shower. Literally, as I'm picking up my keys to leave, I get a phone call from Hyundai of El Paso to say, somebody just ran into one of the transformers right down the street, so we don't have any power. So we can't release your car. I mean, they timed it perfect because if they had called 10 minutes later, I would have already been on the road. So props to them for tackling that. All right, next YouTube poll. Let me see if there was any good. No, there we go. Next YouTube poll, this again had to do with last week's live stream. If you missed that, you can go check out the videos. You can either watch the full live stream or I pull clips out and you can go check those things as kind of like isolated videos. They're 3 to 4 minutes long. But we talked about Cloak and Dagger, the movie from the 80s, plus The Last Starfighter. And so the poll was, what's the best 80s movie with a video game as the main plot point? So I put Cloak and Dagger, The Last Starfighter, Tron, or War Games.
Oh, it had to be War Games, right?
No.
Wow.
It was not.
Was it Tron?
It was Tron. Tron.
Trantron?
Tron ran away with it. 63% of the vote, actually. By the way, Nightmare, if you're around, do you want to be the third person for our Robin Williams movie draft? Because we need somebody who's going to be here and be able to kind of focus for that 10 to 15 minutes if nobody else pops up. And I know that you're here right now. So yeah, Tron ran away with this one pretty handily. A couple of comments, though. One person said War Games needs to be talked about more. And another person
talked about a lot. Where the hell's that guy been?
Another person said Cloak and Dagger was so hype back in the day. And then somebody else said, with gaming how it is now, how has The Last Starfighter not been remade? I mean, yeah. I know that they've talked about doing a sequel. All right, and last week we also talked about the Muppets Take Manhattan. So this next YouTube poll was, what's the greatest Muppet movie of all time? I put The Muppet Christmas Carol, The Muppet Movie, The Muppets Take Manhattan, and The Great Muppet Caper. Which one do you think won, Frank?
I like the Christmas movie, so I'm going to go with the Christmas Carol.
You are correct, sir. 51% of the vote, actually, to Muppet Christmas Carol.
Woohoo.
My favorite came in last. I love The Great Muppet Caper, but again, that was because that was the one that we had recorded on a VHS, so I watched it over and over and over again. It only got 5% of the vote. Next YouTube poll question. This had to do with last week's 5 Fast Questions, where you asked, what was a book that you could not put down?
All right.
And so what I ended up with here is, what is the greatest book series of all time? And I put The Chronicles of Narnia, Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, and The Dark Tower.
There's too many Harry Potter fans out there. I mean, it'd be between that and Lord of the Rings, I guess.
Lord of the Rings ran away with it, 53% of the vote. Yeah, Harry Potter did come in second.
Bunch of nerds.
Bunch of nerds is correct.
You know, Penthouse makes books too, kids.
Hold on, I got to comment to this guy, because the guy says, how is the Dark Tower series an option? Brutal. And I said, here is why. And the whole point was the video, so I'm talking about how fucking boring that. I tried to read that first book. I was bored to tears.
Never read it.
Let me see here. That's the point of the video. I couldn't get through it.
If they would have put it on Reading Rainbow, maybe I would have read it.
Reading Rainbow.
That's a guy who doesn't get enough credit. LeVar Burton.
Yeah, LeVar Burton.
Bob Ross and
Mr. Rogers get all the hype.
Yeah, well, also the freaking Australian alligator guy.
Oh, Steve Irwin?
Yeah, they got all the hype, and everyone forgets about
Everybody forgets about LeVar Burton.
He taught you how to read, you dumb bitches.
Not Troy Barnes, though. Not Troy Barnes from Community. There was a whole episode where Pierce, who's played by Chevy Chase, claims that he's dying, so he's giving everybody like one last wish. And Troy Barnes wants a signed picture from LeVar Burton. Ultimately, he actually gets LeVar Burton to come meet him. And that's where he ends up crying in tears. And he's like, you can't disappoint a picture. I didn't want to meet him. I just wanted a picture. Next poll question. What's the best 80s, 90s Disney cartoon? Here's your 4 options.
Ooh.
Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, Gargoyles, or Tailspin?
Yeah, I had the bone to pick, man. You left Darkwing Duck out. You left there was another one on there, because I would have gone with Darkwing Duck, but I think everybody went with the DuckTales.
Yeah, pretty handily. 63% of the vote went to DuckTales. I was more part and parcel to Tailspin. Now, don't get me wrong. I watched all of DuckTales and Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Gargoyles, not so much, because I think I was too old for that one. But Tailspin always had a place in my heart, because it was all the characters from Jungle Book. And Jungle Book's my favorite Disney movie.
I've told you before, I didn't watch the Gargoyles stuff. So I think I was in middle school at the time. It just wasn't cool. But back in 2020, when there was nothing else to watch, that whole series was on Disney Plus. That first season's fantastic. It's really good. I would have enjoyed it at that age, but I was Ninja Turtled out by that point.
Ninja Turtled out. All right, next
everything was mutant freaking creatures at that point.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, there's a big mutant phase, late 80s, early 90s.
You had the Cowboys of Moo Mesa, which were cows. You had the Street Sharks. You had the mice. You had gargoyles. You had the toads. You had everything. Any sort of animal became mutated.
Anything you can put ooze on.
And make a toy.
Next poll question was, how did you first listen to music? And I
my ears.
Well, I should have put a caveat as more on demand. Like, how did you own your first music? Because there were some people that popped in that said radio. But that wasn't an option. The 4 options I put were vinyl records, cassettes, CDs, or MP3s.
I'm thinking a lot of people probably are going to say cassettes.
You know what? You technically would get the win here because it did come in first. 34%. 33% said CDs. 24% said vinyls, and only 9% said MP3s, which means that my audience is a little bit older. And there's a few people that even chimed in that said 8-track.
Woohoo! You old boomers.
And this one has to do with our movie draft coming up later today. What's the best Robin Williams movie of all time? Aladdin, Dead Poets Society, Good Will Hunting, or Mrs. Doubtfire?
I was curious. I saw the answer on that one, so I won't answer. But
well, you're not getting points. So where was it? What was it when you checked?
It was Good Will Hunting.
Yes.
Like a landslide.
I mean, it's must have gotten a little closer. 38% Good Will Hunting, 27% said Aladdin.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Doubtfire coming in third, Dead Poet Society coming in fourth. But that does it for your YouTube polls, which means that it is time to make the transition. As we are now going to move over to, where did I do with my damn, oh, here we go.
You lost it.
Why? Oh, cool. Did my computer lock up on me? What's going on here?
Spent all that money for was so it would lock up on you.
Exactly. That's why I've spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this crap so that it can lock up on me. Actually, it did not. But here we go. All right, it's time for first impressions. Basically, I'm going to show Frank a picture. He lets me know what his first impression is. Let me make sure that I get the screen up here properly.
With my thumb.
Frank, what is your first impression of this picture?
Is that the one where she was drunk and like...
Not drunk.
Or on drugs?
Yeah. I'm so excited.
I'm
so scared, Zach. I'm so scared.
Well, they're like the most over like dramatic like use of probably one of the least effective drugs ever.
Oh yes, big time. So this, of course, we're going to be talking about Saved by the Bell, and it was, I mean, originally I believe for that episode they were going to have her on speed, and it ended up just being caffeine pills. And so she could do everything, so that she would have been able to actually get in there and do all of her studying. And remember, that's when they had the music video for the 3 girls. And that's
Adderall before Adderall was
basically.
The thing to take.
Yeah, it's basically Adderall before Adderall. So Saved by the Bell actually debuted on August 20th, 1989.
Wow.
And then it ran until May 22nd, 1993. But that is the Saved by the Bell version. What was the original name of the show that essentially started everything?
The drug stuff?
No. Of Saved by the Bell.
I don't know. I was 8 years old.
It was called
Ronald
Good Morning, Miss
McDonald's
Bliss.
Funhouse. Oh, there you go.
So it was a completely
complete
different
series.
show. And this actually aired from July 11th, 1987 to March 18th, 1989. But there was only 1 season and 13 total episodes of that show. And you'll notice that there are some familiar faces here. Where you got Zach Morris, you got Screech, and you have Lisa Turtle. And then you have the others here. There's Miss Bliss right there in the middle. So there was a big jump because the pilot debuted in 1987, but then the second episode didn't actually air until November 30th, 1988. And then that's what took it around until 1989.
All right.
The show ended up... oh, shit. My pictures are all out of whack here. The show ended up being incorporated with Saved by the Bell when it went into syndication. So they ended up basically kind of recreating the Saved by the Bell intro. And there was a Zach Morris cold open explaining that these were from an earlier time, is what they called it.
It's when he was on drugs.
Exactly. And the show took place at John F. Kennedy Jr. High School in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Why would you choose Indianapolis, Indiana?
That's where they originally had the show.
They weren't California cool.
They were not California cool.
Losers.
So Mark Paul Gosselaar, he dyed his hair blonde for every episode. And if you've seen him now, you know that blonde is not his natural hair color.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa Turtle, she was going to be a Jewish girl from Long Island, but they liked Lark Voorhees so much they actually changed the character.
She still could have been a Jewish girl for long.
Yeah. AC Slater was originally going to be an Italian, but when they couldn't find the right casting, they ended up going with Mario Lopez and they made him Hispanic. Which, by the way, we saw him when we went to Universal Studios. He was filming something like when you're walking in California, you're walking into Universal Studios where they have the globe and everything. He was actually filming some stuff out there. And you know that signature mullet, right? You know that was inspired by?
Oh, do tell.
This is why I wish Alan was around for this one, because Alan had a mullet back in the day because he wanted to be Jose Canseco.
Is that Jose Canseco inspired?
No. This one was inspired by Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon.
Oh, really?
He wanted to be Riggs.
I was about to say, I don't know if he had that much curl, though.
No, but, you know, he's got the natural curl, so he's working with what he's got. The theme song. Well, I woke up in the morning. Isn't that how it goes?
Saved by mail.
It's all right, because I'm saved by the... Scott Gale wrote the song. He also wrote the theme song for Golden Girls and Herman's Head.
There you go. Writing it for everything.
Something that is pretty well known is actually that Dustin Diamond was significantly younger than the rest of the cast. He was 3 years younger. He was just 11 compared to everybody else. And that was something I think they brought up. Remember that? Did you see that made-for-TV movie that they came out with? Where they were kind of going through all the stuff that they with Saved by the Bell, and that was kind of one of the main
documentary type thing.
Yeah, well, no, it was a total. It's one of those ones they do on Lifetime.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen like some of the documentaries where they talk about it.
No. It's where they cast the roles and stuff like that. And finally, two big '90s kid actors were in an original pilot that ended up getting scrapped. Brian Austin Green and
Urkel.
Jaleel White.
Do you remember him from the Toys R Us commercial where he was like a 4-year-old kid in the commercial?
I'm pretty sure that I've seen that at some point. All right. Next picture, Frank. What is your first impression when I show you this?
I just remember when Chris Pratt does just the finger and they blur it out.
Because my first thought is when he's like, they look like a-holes.
Yeah, he's like, what a bunch of a-holes.
Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, was released August 1st, 2014. And this was a pretty big leap for Marvel because Guardians of the Galaxy was not very well known. There had been some really good comics, and actually Alan knows of some that were really good runs in the comic books before the movies, but it wasn't a well-known commodity.
Yeah, I think that was like one of their big gambles at that time. Nobody had really heard of that crew.
It had a budget of $232.2 million. It ended up making $773.3 million at the box office. It's a great movie. In fact, I really enjoy the entire trilogy.
Yeah. I do too. The second one I even enjoy. A lot of people don't like it, but I enjoyed the second one.
A lot of different actors were up for Star-Lord, including Joel Edgerton, Eddie Redmayne, Zachary Levi, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Glenn Howerton. You know Glenn Howerton?
He's the guy from your sitcom.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. As for Gamora, Amanda Seyfried? I never know how to pronounce her name.
That's the chick from all those.
She was in Mean Girls.
The Ted 2.
Yeah, she was in Mean Girls. Well, she was up for the role of Gamora, but she ended up turning it down because she didn't want to spend that much time in makeup. So obviously
in Hollywood, what are you talking about?
Zoe Saldana. Bradley Cooper ended up voicing Rocket, but there was another actor that actually was the stand-in. You know who that was?
Pee Wee Herman.
It was not Pee Wee Herman. It's actually
Oh, the stand-in. Yeah, the brother.
Sean
Right.
Gunn. So that's James Gunn. He's the guy that directed these. He's now the guy that's taken over the DC universe.
Yeah.
And then that, of course, is his brother, Sean Gunn, who also plays Kraglin. The soundtrack
Rat.
for the movie hit #1 on the Billboard charts.
Yeah, it was a great soundtrack. I have that soundtrack.
It was the first time a soundtrack with all previously released songs had done that. There wasn't an original song. It was all previously released stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, for the movie, it did score 2 Oscar nominations, Best Makeup and Hairstyling, and Best Visual Effects, but it did not win either of them.
Shocking.
All right.
That soundtrack was good.
It was a fantastic soundtrack. I actually really enjoy listening to that soundtrack.
I like on the second one they actually put the Hasselhoff song.
Yeah. I love the fact that they hand him a Zune, and they're like, "This is how all the people are listening to music now on Earth." Because I knew somebody with a Zune.
Mm.
All right, Frank.
Uh-huh.
Next picture. What is your first thought when I show you this?
Home run derby.
Do you even know who that is?
I'm gonna guess Contreras.
No, it's Teoscar Hernandez. He is the 2024 Home Run Derby champion. So what I have here is essentially all of the 1990s Home Run Derby champions, one from the 80s too. I just decided to throw that in there for Frank. I am going to give him the year, and then I'm going to give him the team that the player was playing for. And then I'm going to see if Frank is able to actually give me the player.
Don't bet the house on it.
All right, first one, 1987. So this is the only one that's not in the 90s. 1987, Chicago Cubs.
Chicago Cubs. Is that Whitfield?
Oh, wait, no. Whitfield. You mean Winfield?
Winfield? Yeah, Winfield?
No. Andre Dawson, baby.
That's right. I forgot Andre Dawson was
The
there.
Hawk, Andre Dawson.
I like the guys in the background. She looks like a major league movie.
Yeah, it totally does. All right, next one, 1991, Baltimore Orioles.
91?
1991, Baltimore Orioles.
God, the only person I can think of from Baltimore is now it just slipped out my damn head. Ripken.
Cal Ripken Jr.
Look
at
at
Jim
Leland in
Leland
the
hanging
back.
out there. Oh, Jim
Taking
Leland, huh?
taking a picture?
He's all shitting him in the background. And you got your Labatt Blue. This
Yeah,
must have
I
been,
see
this,
that.
this had to
In
have been in Toronto,
It had to
yeah.
have been Toronto, yeah.
All right, next one. 1992, Oakland Athletics.
92, that's either McGuire or Canseco.
You got to pick one.
McGuire. Look at that bat fan.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Look at
Oh.
the bat. Just,
That
it's
has to be
insane.
That has to be stuffed, right? That's corked, right? That's a corked bat.
Oh, I have no idea, but yeah, he's just
Busted, McGuire. You're totally busted.
hitting the piss out of that. All right, 1993. Okay, so you've gotten 2 right so far. Let me get you points on this.
Look, he's got pumps on.
Oh my God, I never noticed that. Yeah. All right, 1993, Texas Rangers.
Palmero.
No, I'm sorry. It was Juan Gonzalez.
Look at those.
Remember
friggin'
that
arms, dude.
batting stance? He's up here.
Yeah.
All right, that's
He's
your.
got some guns.
I know. Jesus, all these guys. This is right when the juice was
Steroid
becoming a
stuff was-
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, 1994 Home Run Derby. Champion was from the Seattle Mariners.
That's Griffey Jr. He doesn't look too excited.
He does not, right there. And actually, Junior would go on to win 2 more. He won in 1998 and in 1999.
With Cincinnati, huh?
No, I believe he was still with he was still with the Mariners for each of those.
Okay.
I don't think he went to the Reds until the 2000s. I think.
2000, was it? 'Cause I know him and Dion and all them were on like a team for like a year.
I
together.
just missed out on his 600th home run. I was supposed.
Catching it,
He was
or-
down. Well, I mean, it's how I like to tell the story. Yeah, he was with the Mariners until 1999, and then he went to the Reds in 2000. And so when I was living in South Florida, he had they were in town. The Cincinnati Reds were, and I had free tickets to go see the game. He hit his
Smiling.
600th home run right where the tickets were at, out in right field. Oh,
There's
I
probably
was
nobody
kicking
there
myself.
anyways.
Oh, there wasn't. That's
No,
the
in the Marlins
thing.
game.
Well, no, I mean, I take it back. There were more people there because he was on the cusp of hitting his 600th home run. That's the only
So there's
reason
like
people were
50
there.
people there.
Yeah, basically, and they were all sitting in the outfield. All right, moving on. Oh, you got that one right. So let me get you another point there.
Ping.
1995 Home Run Derby champion Chicago White Sox.
That's Thomas. Big Hurt. Look at
The
that
Big
forehead.
Hurt, Mr. Frank Thomas, right there. All right, that's another point for you. All right, moving
Cast
on.
the guy behind him.
No- you see the strangest stuff in the back of pictures, man.
Just there.
No, that's okay, because that's another thing I want to start doing is the geolocation game or whatever, where it shows you a picture and based on the picture you need to guess where it was taken.
Those are
And that's-
implants, right?
And on this guy,
Yeah. There's no way those are real.
I mean they could be.
No, look at his upper body. There's no way those legs are real.
You never know,
That's-
man.
There's
All
a
right.
lot of cottage cheese in that belly.
1996 Home Run Derby champion came from the San Francisco Giants.
Bonds. Look at them steroid arms, baby.
It was Barry Bonds.
That
ladies and
arm looks
gentlemen.
fake. Look at that.
Oddly enough, only won one Home Run Derby. All right, last one here. 1997 Home Run Derby champion came from the New York Yankees.
97.
This one is probably going to be a little bit tough.
I'm thinking that I can't. It's the white dude. I can't think of his name. That
The white
played
dude.
first base, right? I can't think of his name. George Costanza.
Tino Martinez. Was your
Damn it.
homer.
Yep.
Tino Martinez. Not too shabby though, Frank. You got yourself 5 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You got
How
5
do you
out of
think
8
he
on
won it
that.
that year? I mean, because there were a bunch of good hits. Well, there must have been some people that were injured or just didn't.
Well, there's
Didn't
also
do it that
real
year.
quick interesting fact too, because something that a lot of people forget, because you had mentioned right before we started streaming, was Josh Hamilton's 2008 performance where he broke the record for most in a round. Like the dude just could not stop hitting home runs. He didn't win that home run derby.
No, he didn't. It was that first round spectacular.
It was.
just blow up.
He lost to Justin Morneau in the finals. He only hit 3 home runs in the finals.
Yeah, he extinguished himself.
Did.
Remember when that home run derby used to take place in the afternoon? Like they did it. Like it started at 3 in the afternoon or something like that, and now they do it like prime time.
Oh yeah, they want to
miss
get
it.
they want to get viewership.
I want it back at 3 o'clock.
Anna's here. Hello, Anna. You're late. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Nightmare's going to be filling in for us since Lan is out today. You can converse with her if you would like about Robin Williams movies for later. Next picture here, though. First impression, Frank. What do you think of when I show you this?
Those were the best Lunchable. Freaking the pizza one. It was the best. I don't care what you say.
serious?
Yes, that was the best. I'd eat it cold. It was so good.
Well, yeah. I mean, they were like, you could technically heat them up, but they were kind of
No,
designed to
no,
eat cold.
You didn't have to. Kids, I'm telling you, eat them cold. Eat them with the worms and everything. It's
Well, but
fantastic.
but that was kind of the point of it, was that you could eat it cold, because if you were packing it for lunch, you weren't using a microwave in the 4th grade.
You could put it out in the street and let it cook.
Not in
street
not
pizza.
in Portland, Oregon, man.
Down here, give about 3 minutes out on the street.
So Lunchables were first introduced in 1985 as a way for Oscar Mayer to sell more bologna.
More crappy food, I was going to say. Yes, some more crappy
well,
food.
all depends on your perspective, I guess. Other names that were rejected for the Lunchable: Entree, like ONTRAY,
I forgot about the mint.
Cracker Witches, mini
What?
meals, wok meals, and smoothie kaboobles.
Smoothie Caboodles sounds like a guy that shaves his balls.
It does.
I
And
got
I did.
Smoothie Caboodles.
And who has not forgotten about the mints at this point?
They still put the mints in those? I don't think
No,
they
they
do.
put in like little candy bars now.
And they were like half black, half green.
Huh?
The mints, they were half black, half green. Or it had like
there was a
slither of
version.
green.
There was a version for adults that was called Maxed Out, and it offered larger portions, but it was promptly canceled when it made the Cancer Project's 5 worst packaged lunchbox meals.
So it gives you
Look
cancer?
at this ad. I'm not gonna stop until I get Lunchables with pudding. If my kid did that, you're getting an apple. Shut up. And finally,
give that kid some pudding.
there was a healthy Lunchable called Fun Fuel, but it was very short-lived because people just didn't want it. It didn't have pudding.
People just go out and eat grass.
Yeah, it didn't have pudding in it. All right, really quick check over on the YouTube chat. Anna says it's good that Nightmare's filling in. She dislikes Robin Williams more than she dislikes Tom. How can you dislike
Man.
Robin Williams?
She must have had a
Like
fun childhood.
Like, what in
when
the
Robin Williams
world
scorned
could
her.
have possibly gone wrong where you dislike Robin Williams?
She saw Fern Gully.
And Nightmare says, yeah, they were Andy's mints, actually. That's what that mint was. It was in the...
Nightmare knew what I was talking about.
Yeah. All right, here we go. All right, Frank is a big college football fan, so I'm going to show him this picture. And Frank, what is your first impression when I show you this picture?
NCAA 2005.
Did you play this one?
Glad it's back. I don't recall.
You see who that is on the cover, right?
Yeah, it's Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. And you'll notice here, it's got live online enabled right there on the box.
Oh,
This
that
is
was like when you could first play it online.
This is OG Xbox. This is not Xbox 360. This is not Xbox One. Now, this, I believe, is the only version of the game that I played. And that's just because when my dad bought his Xbox, it came with a free copy of this game.
Yes.
All right, so here is going to be the quiz for Frank. So this edition of the game was the first one that actually came up with the sort of home field advantage. And so what would happen is if you were a visiting team and you were in one of these really loud stadiums, the controller would start to shake. It would be more difficult to complete passes. It threw a whole new wrench into the game. So I have the top 25 stadiums ranked from 1 through 25. And I want to see if Frank is able to give me the list of all 25. You don't have to do them in order. Just give me the list and I'll let you know.
Ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
Michigan.
He is going with Michigan, and Michigan is on the list. Let me pull up a picture of the old stadium here. I got to find all this. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted because my dog is barking his ass off outside the door. So you do have Michigan Stadium. It actually was number 12 on the list here in 2005. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out how I can...
That's a lot of white people.
Well, it's Michigan, so... Okie dokie. All right, Michigan's down. You got 24 more to go, Frank.
Notre Dame would be my next one.
Frank is going with Notre Dame, and Notre Dame is on the list.
That's a lot of white people.
Notre Dame came in at number 15, actually. All right, so you got 2 down, 23 to go.
Go Ohio State.
He is going Ohio State. Ohio State is on the list. They were coming in at number 3, actually, the Horseshoe. You got 3 down. So far, no misses.
Go Penn State.
He is going to go Penn State. Are you talking Beaver Stadium, Penn State?
Yes.
Yes, they are on the list. And I'm trying to get to the pictures of these stadiums here. And here we do have Beaver Stadium for Penn State. And that was number 17 on the list. You still haven't even gotten number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, well, what? No 5. I mean, you're looking at some of these teams like down years because you're going to have Florida State on there.
Okay, you do have Florida State. And what's the name of that football stadium they got down there, Florida State?
Yeah, little joke Campbell Stadium. It's
Yeah,
real
this is-
vibe out, and you
when you
just
put
stay
your-
on the skylines. You put your pants on the same way we do.
Which, by the way, you got to give Florida State credit because this is the exterior of the stadium, and that is slick looking.
It's like the largest brick building I think in the United States.
Like I
Oh, brick.
really like Florida State's stadium.
They've redone it too. They tore out on that opposite side. They took out on the side you can't see. They took out a lot of seats. They're updating.
So Florida State actually came in at number 14 on this list.
Yeah, it was our down years. You have University of Florida. They will be in there.
Hey, that is your number 1 right there.
That was when they were on top of the football world.
The
back in those days.
Swamp. Back in 2005, that was number 1. All right, so you got number 1 off the board. You still are missing number 2.
We're gonna go with Auburn.
Auburn
schools.
is on the list. Let me see if I can get to it here. We got Jordan Hare Stadium from Auburn. War Eagle right there. It looks actually they're
War
actually
Eagle.
playing the old Florida Gators right there. All right, and
Bet
that was
they-
number
I bet they
19.
All right.
Still missing number 2.
Let's go USC. That's
Uh,
from California, not South Carolina.
first miss.
Wow,
USC
they
was
really-
not in the top 25.
You would think at that time period. Oregon. Put Oregon on there.
And this was really before Oregon made any sort of a run at a national title. I mean, they had been good, but this was pre-Chip Kelly when this came out. And so Oregon actually, where do you think Oregon landed on the list?
I'm at least probably say they were top 10.
Number 5 is where
There you go.
Oregon came in at. And you're talking about Autzen Stadium right there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you right now, there's a ton of hype around Oregon. I'm an Oregon Duck fan. And yeah, so I'm very nervous about this year. All right, so far only 1 miss, Frank, with USC. Got a bunch more to go.
I'm trying to think of. I want to say Alabama, but I'm also worried about that time period. But let's go Alabama. All right, Alabama's on there.
Alabama is correct. They came in at number
Boy.
21, Bryant-Denny Stadium. Alabama did make the list as one of the most difficult places to play on NCAA football 2005.
Then we're gonna go with Texas. Texas. Wow,
No.
they weren't on there.
Texas
Wow.
was not in the top 25.
What about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, you are correct, sir. Oklahoma Memorial. By the way, there's like 4 different memorial stadiums on here. And they're all different. But this one is the Oklahoma Memorial Stadium. And yes, it did make the list.
All right. What about West Virginia?
Hold on 1 second here. We'll get the music back rolling. You are correct. West Virginia did make the list. Let's get rid of Oklahoma right here. West Virginia, a little bit lower on the list. They were number 23, but obviously they did make it. The Mountaineers.
Hillbillies.
All right, so you've got two strikes so far, and you still have
How many
1,
left?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
Oh my
14 more to go.
It's like there's schools I want to say, but it's like I'm trying to, because I'm thinking about that time period. What about Michigan State?
No, Michigan State did not make the list. There's some really obvious ones that you're missing.
Oh, I'm sure. What about Georgia?
Georgia did make the list, actually. Georgia coming in at, where the hell did they go here? Where's my goddamn list? I know they made it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Sanford Stadium came in at number 10.
All right. All right. Clemson.
A little pre-Dabo Sweeney. Yes, Clemson came in. Again, that's a memorial stadium right there.
Yeah, they also have a Death Valley. They're just stealing everything from everybody.
Yeah. So Auburn, I'm sorry, not Auburn. I wanted Clemson.
Good job, Clemson.
Go. There you go. With a big old orange fart of balloons right there.
Yeah. Rub the rock, losers.
All right, Clemson came in at number 16. You got a few more to go here.
Damn. North Carolina?
Nope.
Yeah, I didn't think so. What about Louisville?
Now you're just listing ACC schools.
I'm just going through like ones that, you know, I could think about, you know, that are popping in my head.
All right, what's this one?
What is that?
That is the Orange Bowl.
Miami made the list?
Miami made the list. Miami
They
Orange
have
Bowl.
like 10 people that show up to their stadium.
Yeah, well, they made the list.
That list is bull.
They were number 25. So here, I'm going to go through all of the ones that you've missed, and I'm just going to go from 25 down. So that was Miami.
Washington State.
Martin Stadium, Washington State Cougars came in at number 24. You, of course, guessed number 23, which was West Virginia. Coming in at number 22,
Kansas State.
Kansas State. The Kansas State Wildcats KSU
Manhattan.
Stadium came in at number 22. This next one was a pretty big surprise. Number 20.
Boise. Oh, I was thinking Syracuse, but at the same time,
Syracuse Stadium came in at number 20 on the list.
basketball arena.
All right, next one came in at number 13.
Virginia Tech. The
Virginia
best thing
Tech.
about that is when the team comes out to Metallica.
Yep.
After that, it's
Enter
just
Sandman.
garbage.
All right, you had already guessed number 10. Number 9 is
Nebraska.
The Cornhuskers came in at
Damn.
number 9. Talk about a program that has completely fallen off.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're about
it's
to be kicked out of the Big Ten.
It's between them and Miami for which one is less relevant than they used to be.
Yeah, I'd go with Miami.
All right, then of course you would. And then coming in at number 8.
Wisconsin. Yeah,
Wisconsin.
that's the one that I had at the beginning and just left because I was thinking about the jump around song.
Wisconsin Badgers, and then we have
Is Mississippi State in that?
No.
Texas A&M.
Coming in at number 7, you got Texas A&M. Coming in at number 6,
Washington.
Washington Huskies and Husky Stadium.
Okay.
Like we said, Oregon, Autzen Stadium coming in at number 5. I'm really surprised that you did not guess this one.
LSU.
Yeah, Tiger Stadium.
That's one I would have got around to.
And then, of course, we had number 3 was Ohio State. Number 1 was the Swamp in Florida. You missed number 2.
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
God, at least-
Tennessee Volunteers, ladies and gentlemen, the Tennessee.
At least their fan base loves their team because they buy into all their nonsense about how great they're going to be every year just to go barely
Go
above
8-4.
500. Yeah. Good on you,
And that's going to
Tennessee.
do it for NCAA football. Let me go take a gander over here at the old YouTube chat. TL Sutton, did I ever work for the Brew 105.9? I did not. I did work temporarily for Alpha Broadcasting in Portland. I worked for 98.7 The Bull, mostly on air. And then I also produced commercials for them. I did some work for the news station. Kind of bounced around that whole building a little bit. But yeah, I never actually worked for... I know people who worked for 105.9 The Brew, but never actually did myself. All right, coming attractions. I only got a couple of things on here. Frank, do you really have anything that you're looking forward to?
Deadpool Wolverine.
That's one of the things I have on my list.
That's all that I have.
It's coming up in a week
right now.
That, and then of course, if you enjoy golf, the Open, or the British Open, if you want to call it that, is actually coming up this weekend.
Football's coming back though. So
We
we're
are
almost
about
there.
a month away. It's a little less than a month from college football actually kicking off.
Well, and if you like preseason, you got that Hall of Fame game in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's NFL teams are already going to start reporting to camp. It's almost here, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost here. All right. And by the way, I do play fantasy golf with my mom. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Made me realize I don't know any of the golfers. When we first started doing it this year, I didn't know any of them.
I still don't. Tiger Woods still doing it?
He still plays. I mean, he's still there, but that's about it. All right, you ready, Frank? You ready for this? You got your
Go.
list?
Yes. I got my list.
It is time for 5 fast questions. Frank has the questions. I have the answers. Fire away, sir.
All right. What's the best flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate peanut butter.
Number 2. What is the most boring book of all time?
Oh God, the Gunslinger from the Dark Tower series. Holy crap, that thing's boring.
All right. Number 3. What's the funniest comedy skit of all time?
I don't know if about all time, but the first thing that's popping into my head is that Beavis and Butthead skit from Saturday Night Live.
All right. Number 4. What country would be the most interesting to travel to?
China, maybe.
Number 5. What would be the worst job to have?
Producer of the Buzz Adams Morning Show. I'm kidding.
Takes a shot
I'm
across the bow.
I'm totally kidding. I actually do have an answer to that question, but it's going to be coming up here when we discuss these. There's a better answer than that.
Better. Oh, the camera follows
It's
you.
starting to
Look
move
at
me.
that.
It's starting to follow me again. God damn it.
The
Did
AI.
that kick
The
on its
AI.
own? Son of a
It did.
bitch. I didn't try to do that. I didn't turn that on. Hold on a second. Let me turn that off. That's what I was telling you.
Skynet, man.
I wonder
Skynet.
what. Oh, I wonder. Oh shit! I know exactly why
shit,
it did
what?
that. Because there's hand motions that turn that shit on, and when I held my hand up for 5 fast questions, it registered
on.
that as the cue to turn on the AI.
You
to
know
follow
it
me
works.
around. And no shit. All right, what were the 5 fast questions there, Frank? Let's get
Number
through this
1
stuff.
was flavor of ice cream.
Favorite flavor of ice cream. I would probably have to go with it is chocolate peanut butter, hands down. What about you?
Man, I don't know. I'm like a cravings guy, so it depends. But coffee ice cream always kind of hit my taste buds right.
Nothing wrong with that. And if anybody's in the YouTube chat, or if anybody's watching this on a replay, which by the way, make sure you like and subscribe. Comment below with what you think what the best flavor of ice cream is. All right, what was your next question?
It was most boring book of all time.
Oh my God, I tried to get through The Gunslinger. So there's a store that's right down the street that's called The Bookmark, and they kind of work with, you can go donate books there, and you get books for super cheap. They work with the local libraries and stuff like that, so it's a great place to go to just purchase books. And they had that there, and I was like, oh, I'd really like to get into this. Holy fuck, that thing is boring. Oh my God. I mean, it got to the point where I was legitimately, like, I brought it up to Buzz on the air because I think he had read it. And he's like, yeah, don't. He's like, you can quit. He's like, it's really not that good. What about you? Is there a book that you started that you're like, oh my God?
Any book that the teachers would require you to read during the summer.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. Just
I never
every
actually
book
read any
basically given
books
to me. Yeah.
in school. I think we covered that last week. All right, what was the next 5 fast questions?
Funniest comedy skit of all time, and you said the Beavis and Butthead.
I mean, and that might just be recency bias because
If I was going to go with skit, it would be the Who's on First, because that's like the most legendary, funniest skit with Abbott and Costello.
I think, yeah, I mean, it's if you're saying legendary, yes, but we're saying funniest,
right? Mine would be when Kramer from Seinfeld, the ending scene where Costanza's talking about having to go into the ocean and get the golf ball.
And he goes, was that a titleist?
And he pulls the golf ball out.
Hold on, but does that count as a skit? Because that's just
it's
part
kind
of the show.
A skit. I don't know. It's a skit to me.
Because I assume that skit would mean something on Saturday Night Live or Mad TV or shit, Chappelle's Show. Oh my God, I completely skipped over.
Yeah, Chappelle's.
I just watched. It was the first ever skit that he showed, and it was that spoof of the Mitsubishi Eclipse commercial, where he's like, all that crazy dancing making my penis soft. And then he gets one where he's playing another song, and this other girl's like booty dancing, and her boob pops out, and he goes, look at a titty pop out. Look at my face when a titty pops out. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I wonder how many people know that Saturday Night Live has
been around for
gone
like 50
through
years now.
Well, it's gone through ups and downs. And we're in a really, really good stretch of Saturday Night Live. Like for the past at least 10 years. I mean, Colin Jost and Michael Che, hands down, are my favorite Weekend Update. Like, they're fantastic. And that's saying a lot because there's been some really good ones. But the overall writing of the show and everything else is just, it's been on point for 10 plus years now.
I think Saturday Night Live is just that it's, you know, it hits that certain age group, high school to 20 somethings. And luckily for us, the 90s and like early 2000s was probably one of the greatest times for Saturday Night Live. Just the amount of talent and writing they had. So it's hard to live up to that because I mean, I find myself all the time thinking, like, when I'm watching some of them going, well, this doesn't live up to how it was. I'm like the old boomer guy.
I'm the opposite. Like, I mean, because there was also a thing where truly, like, you would age out of Saturday Night Live, not just the audience, but the actual cast members. And when you got to a certain age, you were gone. But guys like Kenan Thompson, and
he's
I
been
mean,
there
even
for
with
like 15 years,
and even with Colin Jost and Michael Che, it's the actual cast is significantly older than it ever usually was on Saturday Night Live because they wanted the younger cast because they wanted to cater to that younger audience. And now it's to the point where it's just funny. I mean, I would think back to Kate McKinnon with the ones where she was abducted by an alien. Holy shit.
Slapping my bags around.
Oh my God. It's like hitting my knockers. And she's like, this one seemed like it was off book because there was one in the door just kind of doing that. Like, dude, every time. I think that actually, I take it back. That one might be even funnier than.
See, I watch for certain guests because I used to love it when people would break. And I know Lorne Michaels is notorious for hating people that break on his show. But I always found it fantastic when you'd have a cast member or a guest host that is just cracking and breaking in the middle. Unless it was Jimmy Fallon, because he laughed in every.
I was just about to say, because that was his whole shtick, was fucking laughing. Good God. But yeah, there was. What's her face? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on it. She was the one that was hosting the fake show in the Beavis and Butthead skit.
Yeah. I can't remember her name.
She was also. She's also in Shrinked. Heidi Gardner. She was upset that she broke during that skit. Like, she was legitimately upset just because according for her, it's her job not to break. Mm-hmm. So, all right, next question. We got two more here. What was the next one?
No, what country would be most interesting to travel to? You said China.
I would like
the land of China.
I would like China just because I read a lot of books on Taoism and stuff like that. And I think it would be really cool to kind of go over there and check all that stuff out. But there's a lot of countries that I think would be fascinating to visit. I think it would be amazing to go to Japan, South Korea. Now, if I really want to talk about like where I'm from, I would like Norway or Scotland would probably top that list. What about you, Frank? One country.
Greece.
You want to go to Greece?
I want to check out Greece. Yeah, the women are fantastic. The food is great. The views are awesome. I mean, why not? Just gotta worry about earthquakes and minotaurs. That's about it.
And those weird spider webs, man. You ever see that shit over there?
Yeah.
God. All right, and last question was what?
The worst job to have.
Oh, I said the producer of the Buzz Adams Morning Show. That's a complete joke, actually. I had a blast producing the morning show. Because I still get asked about it, actually, quite frequently. And because the way that I left the show was kind of unceremonious. I was there for about 6 years. It just so happened that I hosted the show one day, then they pulled me into an office afterwards, and they said they were letting me go. And I was like, all right, cool. We shook hands and walked away. And I mean, I had dinner with my old boss just a couple of weeks ago. So I think people still ask me if I'm upset about it and stuff. I'm not. I wish them nothing but the best. I had a blast doing that morning show. Obviously there was ups and downs. Obviously there was fights, but nah, man, I wouldn't trade those years for anything. But in regards to the actual worst job, I can only relate this to the jobs that I have had. And there was one that I did that it was in a plastics factory. And we made like Frisbees and cups, and truly the whole job is a 12-hour shift. And the whole job was just taking all of the plastic stuff that came out of the machine, stacking it up, and putting it in a box. That was your entire shift, man. Oh. I was there during the Super Bowl when the Ravens played the Giants. God.
Second.
What would you think is the worst job? Or what? Let's just this. What's the worst job you've ever had?
I mean, I haven't really had any bad jobs that were. I mean, I've had ones that I just didn't care to be there anymore because it was like when I worked at Lowe's, the people around me were lazy and I was doing all the work, and I was like, I'm tapping out. This is stupid.
Working in lumber yards.
Yeah, I haven't had any dirty. My like worst job would be the people that pull the coffee beans out of the animal poop.
Ugh. Yeah, that I can't imagine that.
I don't want to. I wouldn't want to do that. No matter how much money you'd make, I'll pass.
Camera got all fucked up here, so let me.
Trying to follow you again.
Let's. You can see my Discord there. Well, because it's I don't like how high it is. It's cutting off my chin. There we go. Look at that. Look at all these fancy little mechanics I got with these new cameras. You guys like that shit? All right, Nightmare, are you there? Because we're getting ready to do the Robin Williams draft. And we got to make sure that you're here. Otherwise, we're going to be left high and dry for our Robin Williams movie draft. Let me get my music here. All right. We are drafting Robin Williams movies. Here we're looking for the best triple feature. Now, the way that it works is Lan isn't here. So it's going to go, Frank is going to go first. Am I pointing in the right direction? No, here we go. Frank is going to go first. Nightmare from the YouTube chat gets to pick second, and then I will pick third. Once a movie is off the board, that's it, kaput. That you can no longer pick that movie. So, Frank.
Yes.
Let me get all my stuff situated here. You get to go first, my good man. What is your first?
Good morning, Vietnam.
Really? Out of all of the Robin Williams movies, you're going Good Morning Vietnam.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Based on a true story, by the way. Adrian Cronauer. We would listen to this album. I went to Lake Shasta with my buddy Greg when I was 19. And when we went down there, this was the album where every single morning they put in the cassette and everybody got woken up with Good Morning Vietnam.
Yes.
All right, so Nightmare, now that he has gone, make sure you have your picks ready to go because of the delay right there. So we're going to wait for Nightmare to come up with her pick. So far, Good Morning Vietnam is off the board. We're going to rock it from the Delta to the DMZ.
I just love his ad-libs.
Where are you stationed at? I'm stationed in Poontang.
It's hot. It's damn hot. It's so hot out there.
Do a little crotch pot cooking. I mean, he truly was brilliant in that movie. Oh, Nightmare coming in with her pick. Hold on. I can't, trying to figure out all this stuff here. I'm having some issues right now. Hold on. All right, make sure you have your next picks all lined up there, Nightmare. I get to go back to back. But make sure you have your next pick. So she's going Hook, and I'm so glad that she went with Hook.
Oh,
although it is a great movie. And I love Hook, which oddly enough, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a really poor Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah, a lot of people, the critics hate it.
No, it's a great movie, man.
Yeah, the fans
it's a fantastic movie. It's Steven Spielberg crying out loud.
Yo. That's the one where you found out Julia Roberts was a complete bitch.
Yeah. As what's her face? As Tinkerbell. All right,
well,
so then
life too.
I get to pick. So I am going to go just back to back here. My first pick is actually going to be Good Will Hunting. Fantastic dramatic role from him. Brilliant speech. Great movie all around. Good Will Hunting. All right, Nightmare, that's my first pick. So make sure that you're ready with your second one because my second pick technically would have been my first pick, but I didn't want to put, Good Will Hunting in there. But this is the one that, for me, man, this was it.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire. This is actually one of the reasons I got into radio broadcasting. The whole scene where they're asking him, the old lady is like, do you have any special talents? And he's like, I do voices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's like, you do voices? And that whole spiel, I used to be able to recite that in the voices as well. And so that's kind of one of those things that really got me into it, is his ability to just bounce from character to character. And when he's like, I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. All right, Nightmare, you can fire away. Once my pick goes up, go ahead and put your pick up in the old YouTube chat there, because we got the delay and we got to make sure that we get past that. This makes me want to go watch Mrs. Doubtfire now. All right. See, now we're just waiting on Nightmares. Well, I told you to put it in there. That's what she said.
Like the hot dog.
Oh, here you go. So she went with the movie that we just watched with my family this weekend, Birdcage. Which, by the way, when you watch this, you really are kind of like, man, his son is a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you know the premise of the movie, right?
Yeah. I've seen it. It's been about 20 years.
Yeah, but so the whole premise is that they need to hide that they're gay.
They're gay
from the conservative couple, and the son is like, oh, it's basically like pretend it's a great movie, but it's, as I was watching it, it was a bit uncomfortable where it's like the son is a dick.
The son's marrying into with the conservative couple. Remember, they have the daughter. And they hadn't told because he's like a senator. Gene Hackman's character is like, and they haven't told him that his family is gay, and that's
it's right thing, after
like,
a huge scandal too. There was a huge scandal that hits.
Yes.
All right, Frank, you get to go back to back. All right, so Nightmare. Once Frank says his second movie, go ahead and chime in with your first pick, because that delay we'll buy you some time. But once he says, or his third movie, I should say, overall. Make sure you're going in with your pick. But Frank, you get to go back to back here on your Robin Williams movie draft.
Jumanji. The first one.
Oddly enough, another movie that's really far down on the old tomato meter.
Yeah, no, I just have good memories watching it. It's good. Now, my next one, I don't know if you're going to have the picture for this one, because this is one of his earlier movies, but honestly, it's some of his best acting early in his career. It's Moscow on the Hudson.
Oh, would you be talking about this movie right here?
Yeah. I recently saw that like a couple months ago, and it is fantastic. He does a fantastic job as the Russian immigrant into America. It's actually really good. As
we were picking these movies, or as I was kind of researching all this, and I was getting, I get all the pictures ready to go for the live stream and everything like that, I realized there are a lot of Robin Williams movies that I need to go watch.
That's one, if you haven't. That's a really good. It's really dated, like early 80s, but it's really good.
All right, so that's Frank's triple features: Good Morning Vietnam, Jumanji, and Moscow on the Hudson. Nightmare coming in with her third pick. Bye-bye. Did you know you can actually visit?
Shelley Duvall just died.
The town. She did. You can visit the town where this was filmed. It's kind of a theme park, actually. So you can go check out where everything was done, and they've made sure everything is been taken care of, and you can go check out where Popeye was filmed.
That giant octopus always scared me as a kid.
Scared the piss out of me, which is why I'm glad they didn't have that octopus scene in the Goonies, because that would have scared the hell out of me too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's coming back around to me for my third and final Robin Williams movie. And I do have to go through some honorable mentions here, including The Best of Times with Kurt Russell.
I thought you might pick that. Do you have Toys on there as one of the honorable mentions?
Absolutely. Right
that
there,
movie
baby.
is an underrated movie if you haven't seen that. And you know what's so scary about that is? Remember, the guy that takes over wants to train kids on military equipment.
Yep.
Like flying planes and taking out. Look where we are in today's society with flying drones. It's so far ahead of its time. It's wild.
Another honorable mention here. The World According to Garp. Another honorable mention. What Dreams May Come.
That was such a weird movie. Man.
It is.
I've only seen it once, and I don't know what's actually going on with that.
Here's a highly underrated movie from him. Robots.
Yep.
This was a great movie that really did not get its due. I don't think. I mean, look at you have Ewan McGregor, Halle Berry, Greg Kinnear, Mel Brooks, Drew Carey, Amanda Bynes, and Robin Williams. That's a great movie.
I think it wasn't that a Fox when they were beginning their animation kind of stuff, and that was like one of their earlier projects.
Well, yes, obviously it was post Ice Age because here they had from the creators of Ice Age. If you want a kind of a creepy Robin Williams movie, here's an honorable mention for you: 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah, that one's a wild one.
Yeah, because there's a couple here. There's that one, and then another one that I kind of put in the same place as is Insomnia.
That one's really good though. Like him and Pacino in that movie are fantastic.
Yeah. Of course, you also have all of the Night at the Museum movies. What other honorable mentions do we have here? Here's one that I like that a lot of people don't like and is also very lowly scored on Rotten Tomatoes. Is Jack.
That's such a weird. That had Jennifer Lopez in it too, which is so outstanding.
It's one of the few times that Jennifer Lopez is not completely obnoxious on screen.
That is a weird movie right there, though. I can understand why people were kind of put off by that. That's a weird movie. The only thing you can do in the 90s and get away with a movie like that.
So there's a few more honorable mentions that I have. I've never actually seen this one, but Flubber, because I did see when I was a kid, we watched Absent-Minded Professor.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of one of our go-tos. And I do remember my sister was in college while they were filming this. Because remember, Robin Williams filmed all of his movies in San Francisco because that's where he lived.
Yeah.
And so she went to Santa Clara. And I remember some of her friends went and they actually watched them. They were able to see them film. And I just remember when they came back, they're like, how many times can they film somebody walking through a door? Like that was the one scene that they just kind of kept showing over and over again. What other honorable mentions do I have here? Of course, there's The Fisher King, which is a good one. That's him and Jeff Bridges. We also have Awakenings. Don't give away the movie I'm going to pick, though, Frank. Easy there, buddy. That's a great movie. Great movie.
Based on a true story as well.
Based on a true story. Yeah, Dead Poet Society, which is considered one of his best.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
This is the one I almost went with for my final movie.
Fern Gully, didn't you?
No, but just in case somebody picked it, I did have that here.
I didn't realize Tim Curry was the pollutant guy in that movie. Completely didn't realize that.
Highly underrated, kind of weird movie, honorable mention. Death to Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie.
I like that movie. I really like Death to Smoochie. But my final movie, my third movie for my triple feature, Frank, what is it?
Aladdin 2.
No. Oh, wait, nobody picked Aladdin. So, no, I'm not picking that. Yeah, I'm going with Aladdin. I'm glad you said something because it's on a different row in my pictures. Hell yeah, I'm going with Aladdin. Wow, I almost butchered that whole thing up. Fail for me, but yeah, I'm going Aladdin. So here are our triple features. Frank is Good Morning Vietnam, Jumanji, and Moscow on the Hudson. Nightmare was Hook, Birdcage, and Popeye. And I had Good Will Hunting, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Aladdin. And that is going to do it for this live stream. This is actually the last live stream for a couple of weeks. What's today? The 17th. We'll be back coming up on the 31st. Is when the next live stream will be. Make sure you're checking out all of the shorts that I put up there on YouTube. 3 of them every day. Also on Instagram, Facebook. The shorts go up there. Plus, I'm doing separate content that go up on those social media. So make sure you're checking out all of this stuff. Vote in the polls as we recap those with every live stream as well. The other social medias, by the way, at The Real Brandalorian. That's where you can check me out. I do separate some of these clips out, by the way. Like I'll do the Robin Williams movie draft and the NCAA football stuff, and I upload those as separate videos. So make sure you guys go check that stuff out. If you can, hell, if you have the time, if you have like a tablet or your phone and you're not using it or whatever, just turn it on and let it go. Just let it play.
Why Anna hated Robin Williams?
No, I don't think we did. And I'm not sure if she's still around or not. On, if you are, before we wrap up the show, let us know why you hate Robin Williams so much. And JL Sutton, if you're here. Oh, yeah, Anna's still here. She said have fun on vacay. So, okay, we really got to wrap this up. Before we do, why do you hate Robin Williams? Why do you hate quality acting?
I never said hate.
No. Well, she said dislike, I think. Yeah, she said dislike. Is what it was.
could be like that Jim Carrey effect. Some people don't like overacting.
Yeah. I thought I remember exactly where I was when I found out he passed away. I was heartbroken because he was somebody I always wanted to meet.
He was like the nicest guy too. Apparently, like he was just a super friendly guy to everybody.
Yeah. See, Anna, you're like, he was a super fun, super nice celebrity to everybody, and you didn't like him. What's that say about you?
Man.
By the way, don't forget the sticker packs.
We're just dogging on it right
We got
now.
Brandalorian sticker, Cross-Eyed Bear sticker, History of Rock sticker. And if you become a member of the channel, 99 cents, that's a channel supporter. You get a sticker pack. Just hit me up on Instagram or Facebook or whatever with your address. I still got to get your stuff in the mail, Anna. And then if you're for $4.99 a month, it's Memberlorian. You get the stickers plus you get a T-shirt of your choice. And the T-shirts have these designs on them. Sizes are not guaranteed, though. All right, Frank, you got anything? Got a couple weeks off here. What, you want to show your shirt to everybody?
You like my shirt?
Beetlejuice.
Like my shirt?
Beetlejuice.
Like my shirt?
It's Beetlejuice, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, that's going to do it. We'll see you guys in a couple weeks.